We're in the woods,
Mm-hmm.
and we helped the troll.
You did. You did help a troll.
Did you come up with a name for the troll?
No.
Did you stat the troll out?
I did stat the troll out. I had him prepped for combat. But he doesn't have a name.
Aw. Mr. Troll. Mr. Owl.
And then, Maddie wanted to try and eat a god rabbit.
If Maddie had a full name, you would have heard it from Aang, if I remember that right.
Oh, yeah.
Aang made calling someone an endearing name so sweetly sounds so fucking threatening.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I wrote that down, the exact quote. This is the wrong game I'm opening up. Shit.
God rabbit led Aang and Maddie to a well from whence a Bellamy, not Bellamy, Michonne got pulled out of. And Maddie and Aang had a couple of questions, and then Maddie decided, you know what? This is hurting my brain. Let me go throw this at the nerd.
Mm-hmm.
And found the others.
The exact quote was, Madigan, dear heart, thou knowest well the depths of my love and affection for thee.
That's what
so
it was.
Fucking threatening. We also need to mention, of course, while dealing with the troll, Willow and Abigail pulled some extreme bullshit, which is very impressive, to kill the plant that was growing inside of him and slowly killing him.
And then we gave Paige a heal check.
They gave Paige a fucking heal check and a heart attack.
After Paige called Mr. Talltail and then hung up on him.
That was really good.
Told him to hang up almost.
my favorite thing from that, to be honest, of like, okay, let's start cutting a deal, and then it's like, well, I guess they've already done it, bye.
I love that she's not even like, hey, I don't need you. It's more like, oh shit, I gotta go, bye. Cause blood. There's blood. I gotta go fix it.
It's blood.
It's blood. But I think those are the major strokes there. Oh wait, no. We gotta mention that at the tail end, Michonne saw two white rabbits look at him, carbon copies of each other before they dashed into the bushes.
Mm-hmm,
Yes, also Aang stole the sheep from the troll. It was, she killed his sheep. His favorite sheep. How could Aang cause a wound so deep?
She was very normal about that.
Oh yeah, cue comic panel. Aang and tree, top hat popping up from beneath a branch.
Come down, Angrad, come down from that fucking tree.
You're going to make me, you're not going to come down? You're going to make me climb up the fucking tree? Of course you're going to make me climb up the fucking tree. Man, I hope no one's looking at me climb up this fucking tree.
She did offer her scythe for help, but it did help, canonically.
It did help, yeah.
It did help.
But now Hylas thinks Paige climbs trees normally.
I mean, she's good at climbing, so she does.
She's capable of so much.
I think those are all the...
Those are a girl with interests and hobbies.
God forbid women do anything.
Yeah. Polar opposite of that. Hylas is just like, wow, women can do anything in the world.
Oh, God bless. But yes, we left off with, we're taking a tea break to interrogate the man that Aang and Maddie dragged out from a well, who says he knows all of us.
Yes.
This is our guy.
And my question, I had one question before you start whatever interrogation you want to start. which is are you walking and talking, or are you hiking while you talk, or are you stopping, like full stopping to gather round?
It's tea break, so they're stopping. They will continue to walk
Break.
after. They are stopping to interrogate just long enough for the said tea break. And if it takes longer than the said tea break, Willow's just going to say, "Oh, he's a problem. Maddie, do whatever the fuck you want with him."
Gotcha. Okay. So tea break is the break during the hike. Gotcha. And it is right now about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You've got plenty of daylight left to hike and set up camp still at some point. So we will pick up right where we left off. And let me find some good, like, I mean, I'll just reuse this one.
That was a good one.
But you all are gathered in not really a clearing, because there's, lower parts of the tree and like bushes, and there's no trail here. You're blazing a trail, but you're in a relatively clear area that you can have a conversation where you can pull up a stump or a log or a rock.
I think the last thing that was said, or thereabouts, the last thing that was said was Willow kind of leaning in really close and examining Michonne, and then just very bluntly, not even asking, but like, "You're from the tunnels below?" And Michonne said yes.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Willow just kind of straightens herself up a bit and looks Michonne head to toe. "And what exactly are you doing here, then?"
Well, as I told Maddie and Hing, barely getting out with my life.
Yes, well,
Where's
that's
Rosemary?
Rosemary?
Looks to Willow, confused. Yeah, Blondie, super intense. Almost as intense as, I'm blanking on her name. Hawk.
Was that in character?
No, that was me.
Okay.
There's just like a blink, and you see Willow kind of like glance around for a second, and then she points to the siblings. "Those are the only blondes walking with us."
I feel in this moment, Michonne would give probably too friendly a wave to Pierre and Paige.
Like, it's like a high energy. Like, what? Define too friendly a wave. What does that mean?
How do I put this? When someone you clearly don't know is waving in your direction and you're sure it's not towards you, but you look behind you anyway. You know? But it is directed towards you.
Right. And you're like, oh shit, do I know them? Okay, gotcha.
Pierre does look behind him.
Just slightest eyebrow twitch from Paige as she just lifts up a hand. Is like, okay, hi, I see your wave, stranger. Hello.
Suppose that makes sense. Last one didn't have Maddie. Guess this one doesn't have a Rosemary.
Pierre scratches the back of his head and just goes, "The rest what?"
motions towards all of you. Last set of you.
Pierre looks concerned, but he does not seem to understand how to voice his concern. But there's something that is obviously concerning him.
I think Hylas probably has a similar look on his face. He just kind of has his arms crossed and is looking over in that general direction.
I think you need to probably take about 10 steps back and start a story from the beginning.
I guess. Well, I guess I should ask first if you know if... He'll look down towards his hand with the ring. Catriona?
And there's kind of this owlish blink. It's like, Catriona. What was the last name on that family?
Kinslow.
And she's like, Catriona. Are you talking about the Kinslow girl?
Nod. And his eyes are wide. Yes, this is the same one, yes.
I mean, I know of her. We've talked at a few parties here and there.
And his face will drop. No, of her. And he'll slump down against the tree. Suppose in the beginning you guys were more than research buddies, pretty close towards the end of it. She's my fiance, and she's working to do great things. And you were helping her, and then the church got involved, and I got separated from her. Hold.
I'm imagining Michonne saying hold as he opens up his HUD.
I have to look for the first iteration. I'm sorry.
You're good.
Okay. First time I came across you guys, it was just outside of Terramorks. You were already traveling with Rosemary and Abigail.
The mention of her name, she kind of perks up for a second.
Yeah, that group had everyone. I thought it was the same, but it wasn't. No, Cat wasn't there. I don't know if it was... Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I was gonna say Abigail, like, kind of sheepishly offers up some words and says, "So you're from another world? Like this one, but different?"
And searching for thy beloved.
Yeah.
Aang will attempt to rest comforting hand on shoulder slash, the back rub gesture of well-meaning teacher.
On Michonne?
Mm-hmm.
She will find that he stiffens immediately.
The second that there's any discomfort, she draws her hand back and does seem to slump a little bit herself, but she recovers. What a tragedy it is to be affected by such a curse.
Willow's kind of like watching them for a second before she tilts her head, not looking at Abigail, but tilts her head in her direction. I don't suppose you know of any Rosemary.
She looks up at you, Willow, and shakes her head. She doesn't know the name. Pierre looks at you, Paige, and mouths the name Rosemary with a question mark on it.
Shrug.
He nods like, yeah, that's what I thought. Because he also doesn't know Rosemary.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my mic is freaking out.
Uh-oh.
From the way that you talk, it sounds like you have hopped through. And she pauses and looks over to Maddie. Where did you find him?
In a well.
Oh, please tell me that you don't go jumping into wells hoping to get to the planets.
It wasn't in a well when I first entered, no.
But you've wandered between multiple, and she just kind of like gestures vaguely.
He nods. This is the fourth.
Paige, you don't know when he appeared, but Mr. Talltail is
Nosy bitch.
he is sitting on or leaned up against a tree, and he has his hands steepled in front of his mouth, and he is looking very intently at Michonne.
Mm-hmm. Is it a look that Paige should be concerned?
If you want to roll perception, you can try to suss out the emotion behind it.
I would like to.
Go for it.
We see one of Joe's favorite NPCs.
I honestly, it's very funny because it's just yes. When is he tuning in? It's very funny. What does he pay attention to? Let's see. 17.
17. Well, the 17, it's not malicious. It's a lot of inquisitive vibes of just he's very curious as to what this person's experience traversing worlds is. But you don't know why he's curious, only that he's curious.
I mean, ideally, everybody should be curious about something like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Cool. Alright. What was the last thing that was said?
This is the fourth group. Fourth world, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
4.
Yeah. I feel like Paige just picked a little tree stump. A little fallen over log that she cleaned up to perch herself on. Very, very happy to just sit and listen. But she sees that, okay, Mr. Talltail is interested. It's like, okay, he's very curious. I can see why. Fucking, you don't see this shit every day. And she is going to think for a second. She's like, you know what? fuck it, right? Why not? She's going to hop up onto her little feet. And she's going to look so worried and so concerned as she steps closer. But, oh no, monsieur, you said that this is the first time you did this? Are you okay? Did you get any, what was it, the injuries on your hands from you crawling in the well?
I imagine while Michonne is processing that, Willow looks over her shoulder down at Paige, and there's just that little hint of the expression of like, okay, you're playing it the fuck up, huh?
I don't know what you're talking about. Paige is the most caring little dumb blonde you've ever met. She's so pink. Intentions are pure.
Dear God, what is the equivalent of insight here?
It would be perception, or I would be tempted to let you roll deception if you were trained or otherwise like gifted in it.
Oh, do I
you're
have to
an
roll
expert. Holy shit. Yeah, it's going to be your deception.
He's a rogue.
You'd be your deception
right.
DC, so it would be 10 plus your deception bonus.
Oh, motherfucker.
Oh no, what is
16.
it? Oh.
I was hoping I could roll for it.
No, it's against a DC when it's player, even on player to player.
Motherfucker.
Player on player crime here.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Bellamy, or Michonne rather. Michonne, you can get that there's a little bit of insincerity. How would you describe the barest hint of an off vibe? Amy, how would you describe it?
I feel like it's not how she's acting now. I feel like how she's acting in this moment is so concerning, and it's so like her eyes are so wide and so bright and so full of worry, you know?
Mm-hmm.
She has the expression down perfectly. Her posture is perfect, you know? What's concerning and kind of would tip Michonne off is that she was sitting pretty almost not interested 2 minutes ago. She did not seem all that concerned prior to 2 minutes ago.
Michonne will throw his hand over his forehead and look faint. Paige, I am so hurt. My hands, they burn.
Oh my god. Can I do a Una reverse?
Yeah, go ahead, roll right back.
What am I rolling? Perception?
It'll either be perception or deception.
I have deception train. Can I roll that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Come on. Fuck. Does not beat that. That's a 15.
I will leave it up to Bellamy. Do you want this to be like obviously egging her on, or are you trying to make it subtle?
Oh,
you know
it's
what?
obvious.
Okay.
Oh, okay. It's obviously is like, okay, bitch. I have a choice to make right now.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Do I double down or do I drop the act?
Impossible choice, really.
As the Jeopardy music is playing in Paige's head, Aang leans over toward Maddie. Are they lying?
Probably. Shrug.
Aang goes back to watching them very intensely.
Imagine Willow is kind of positioned in a way that she is almost in between them from certain angles. And she just looks very done for the moment.
Oh, she's about to look even more done. Because, oh my god, there's a gasp. Paige's eyes get even wider. It's like, but oh no, I can quite see the little cuts that you have. Yes, it's I can do that for you.
Pinching bridge of nose.
Pierre, under his breath, speaks in French and says, "What is this?"
She's. I feel like Michonne can pick up that and like, okay, I see you too, bitch. I'm gonna double down.
This is two people who are very obviously like proficient liars who are just like talking in code to each other and seeing who decides to take off the mask first.
And Paige go hop over, little tippy taps, cause she's small. Break out little bandics. Give hand.
He holds his hands up.
Wonderful. Just sit down. Apply bandage to where I'm assuming there are no cuts.
There's probably no active wounds, but there's scraped up, a little rough. Obviously he's been like climbing and his hands are worn from that activity, but they're not like bleeding profusely.
No, it's like, okay, oh my goodness, no, how could you just live like this? No, I will fix this up for you right away. And she's going to bandage and also psychic touch.
Psychic touch.
Yes, I warned you.
Okay. So
I gave you 2 weeks notice.
Yep. So you obviously won't get the full life story.
Yeah, of course.
But you will get the biggest psychometric? I forget the fucking word.
It's psychometry, so yeah, psychometric, I think.
Yeah, you get the biggest read, or the most recent biggest like read from Michonne. Michonne, if you want, Michonne, you can describe to me without stating any explicit like events transpiring, without giving like too much detail. Do you want to explain the emotional like roller coaster that you had gone on over the past couple hours to day?
Okay. Like genuine fear for his life would be the strongest. And I feel like the freshest would be like relief to have this kind of back and forth with Paige. There's still a tenseness and an unease, but I do feel that in this moment that kind of terror is starting to melt.
But it was like sheer life-fearing terror, and followed by like the relief of like being around friends, like people you are familiar with and you like to commiserate with and shoot the shit with. Like there's an air of familiarity that comes with it that you distinctly recognize, Paige. Like you probably don't sense it with Michonne, but Michonne senses it with you. And in that like just utter terror that was fear for his life, There's little flecks of other things in it. There's like a more personal type of fear. And it is a type of fear that only happens when something is revealed to you.
For God, may I offer betrayal?
Betrayal, that's a big one. You sense betrayal there as well.
Huh.
It is a storm cloud that like whirls around, but has been subsiding slowly.
Okay. Well. She is going to, as she takes all this in like a second, finish wrapping up every single little scrape he had, whether they were new or old, is getting a little pink bandage tied with a little bow.
Paige, I'm going to note that you will see Michonne, like, directly in front of you, check if his ring is still on his finger.
Hey, fucking excuse me? This motherfucker.
Oh, the familiarity.
This.
I think Michonne is telling Paige a little bit about herself right now.
There is a just jaw open for a second. There is pure offense in her eyes for a moment before she blinks and is like, didn't happen actually. Back to sickeningly sweet. Pat, pat, here you go. You're all fixed now. You're all better.
You will return the head pet. I feel actually so much better. Thank you so much, Paige. This is wonderful.
Try to pat her head right now. There's a chance your finger is going to be missing.
Dude, does he actually go for the head pat?
Old.
It's like, yeah, you worried about the ring. I'll have to worry about just a little bit more.
You're going for the head pat.
Oh boy.
Oh my.
Getting my own dice.
I will say I will give you a hero point, Amy, for a clever use of psychometric resonance or whatever, psychometric reading.
She's blushed with empathy. Thank you. I big appreciate. Let me see. Do you know that how many maybe this is just because of the day I've had or the week I've had, but have any of you ever just worked customer service before? And it's like you witness something that grinds you to your core, but you have to smile politely through it, but you're so dead and angry behind the eyes. But your smile is sweet and pleasant, but your eyes tell a different story. That is Paige in this moment, as she gets head patted by this person she just met, that is bullshitting her right back, that checked for his ring after she bandaged his fucking little boo-boos in front of her. She's going to bite her tongue and be the bigger person here. And she is going to pop up, dust off her dress, kind of dust off her hands too, really. Kind of takes off her gloves and puts on a different pair. Those ones are dirty now. Hop back over to her bench. Her little wooden log bench.
Seething.
Imagine Willow has been standing there this entire entire time and seeing the end of this interaction as, like, tucked one arm around herself and, like, elbow held in the hand and other hand propping her chin up, and just watches Paige go back to her stump. And there's just a beat of silence as she is staring at Paige, stewing on the stump. Yeah, if there's any proof that you do know Paige, pissing her off that completely, that quickly might be one of them.
But, Willow, I don't know what you're talking about.
And Willow just looks at Paige.
He snorts.
You could have bit him. I wouldn't have blamed you. Looks back towards Michonne.
I would never bite him.
It helps. I do feel a little bad. Just teeny bit.
She's gonna take off her gloves. So she just took off. She's gonna pass them over to Pierre. Ah, you can burn these. I don't use them anymore. The gloves that she used to come into contact with him. Nah, burning them now.
He gives you this look of, like, flat resignation. Something like, what is this? What is happening? Do I have to help? Do I have to pick a side?
Yes, you do. She's going to turn to look at him, eyes of, like, seriously, is this a question? I'm your sister. What do you mean you have to pick? You're always on my side. Take the gloves and throw them away. I'm being petty. You have to help me.
He takes the gloves half-heartedly.
I think Hylas probably keeps an eye on this interaction. I don't know how close he is to them. He just kind of glances, does a double take.
Well, so you've gone through 4 iterations of our group.
Well, this
and
is
every
the 4th.
single one. This is the 4th. And what? Has every single one chased you off?
I like to think I'm a little bit likable.
That's not answering the question, is it?
Though he jokes, you do see that now he avoids your eyes, and he'll look quickly towards Aang, then back down. The first one, things went pretty bad with the crowd. I got separated. I don't know who else did. But, the mob just surrounded us, blindsided. And I found my way back to the tunnels. Flipping pages. Old.
Yeah. Don't worry, the page is right here.
Now, are we going to have suplexes 2 nights in a row? That's how you would flip a page.
He's missing a page off, and that will lead to him being suplexed. Somehow. She'll manage it somehow.
Maddie!
Maddie! I need you to do what I ask without any questions.
I feel like Maddie probably would suplex somebody for Paige.
Maddie, please. What did they do? They pissed me off. How to do that? I can't explain that to you.
Unimportant.
Unimportant.
If I recall, Maddie's the sort who ask, or like, how did she put it? You tell them jump off a cliff, and she asks you why on the way down, right?
No, got. A second one, Rosemary had been acting kind of weird. And the church had gotten a bit more involved in that one. And actually, they're looking for Abigail.
She pulls her hands in close at the mention of her name in regards to being searched for by the church.
They sent someone after us, I don't know who, but it's relentless. We decided it was best to split up. And I got separated again. And you see that he struggles, especially more now, like approaching the subject of the third iteration. The last one, like I said, it didn't have Maddie, and it didn't have a lot of y'all. You were there, Willow, Paige, Abigail, and Nang. That was the first time I ever saw any one of you die.
Willow kind of lifts her chin a little bit. Her eyes narrow. And it's very clear that there are a list of questions forming. But she holds her tongue for a moment. And she just tilts her head. And you haven't found your fiancé in any of these other iterations.
You'd be surprised how difficult it is getting back to the one when there are countless.
I would not be surprised. Aang looks deeply sympathetic.
So you're just hopping from iteration of the world to iteration of the world, hoping that you're going to run across her. How do you know that she's not also just wandering in circles?
Clearly, you're not her friend in this one. She has a plan. And it wasn't so much me wandering around. I'm hoping one of you guys had that plan too.
Abigail looks like I don't know how to describe it. Her eyebrows are pressed together into a sympathetic look, and she says mostly to herself, like, man looking for his wife from different worlds, and you're just jumping around hoping you find her again? It's so sad.
Sad, and it's also, to be rather frank, a little bit of an illogical plan.
He'll look up at Willow. She was the one with the brains.
Pierre holds up his hand and offers a question and says, "Why did you not go back the way you came? And maybe end up back where you wanted to be?"
If I were to take you down, and somehow, I know I will, but somehow, find those tunnels again, and I had you with me, you'd have a doubt that if you turned around, like, you'd see what the path which we came, wouldn't you? In the back of your mind, you'd know that it changed. That's just how they worked.
Pierre, looks a little concerned at that, and he looks over to Paige and then looks back to you, Michonne, and he doesn't try to push further, getting the idea oh, you can't go back the way you came.
How long has it just spent with the, is that groups?
What was that?
How long did you spend with the groups?
Oh, the groups.
The groups! I'll move my mic closer.
Last one is probably the longest. Maybe over a year. The others before, much shorter. The first only maybe 1 or 2 weeks.
Willow just kind of shakes her head and looks over first to Maddie and kind of gives a little shrug. Like, she doesn't really know what to do with this one. Like, because she knows Maddie brought him over for a vetting, and she's just like, fuck if I know it now. Looks back to Michonne. Well, if you're looking for a cat, Catriona is, from last I heard, still in Termarkt. Though most of her siblings and her family are, either passed or who knows where. From what I understand, her parents tend to travel. Another reason I never talk to them much. We are not going back to Termarkt for some time, though.
just
have a
nods
question.
wordlessly.
Oh, sorry. It's kind of an out of character, like, clarification on something.
Sure.
So, the first iteration only lasted 1 or 2 weeks. So does the first iteration, like, refer to, like, the first time spent not in the original one?
Not in Michonne's original one.
Yeah.
So technically he's been in 5 of them.
Yes, this would be his 5th world.
Okay. Trying to organize my notes.
And while we're paused here, how long did you spend with the second iteration? Because the first was 1 or 2 weeks, and the third was over a year.
I just have that the second was also short.
Also short? Okay.
Less than a year, more than a couple weeks.
Also short.
Pretty much.
In a couple weeks.
Hear the frantic flipping through pages from Charlie to the like desperate DMs. Joe, help!
Sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sorry, can you guys not? Oh, there we go.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say, can you guys not ask questions?
I was gonna say, can you not hear me? I said it might have been 2 to 3 months.
2 to 3 months. Okay.
This was the one where the church was chasing them down.
As all of this is going on, Aang will let out a sort of a dreamy sound. Well, I believe thou shalt find thy love. And what glad tidings that she yet breathes here in Termarkt.
Willow looks at Aang, and there is a very clear like the urge to like info dump argue, but she keeps her mouth shut.
Aang is very shoujo, like, I love love right now.
What a mood.
Abigail will ask, so I was there in all of them, but there is a Rosemary who's not here now, and in one of them Maddie wasn't there.
Good point. In one of these worlds thou hast mentioned Alexandria was with us, no? Which was that?
I don't think this has been established. Mr. God, can I just make stuff up right now?
Yeah, go for it. You can make up whatever you want.
We will go with the first. So, I believe I said it was the first iteration they met right outside Terramart.
Mhm.
You and yours? Yeah. Guiding our way to, I believe, a Starwick? It's what it's called in this world. Nope. That doesn't make sense. Scratch that. It's kind of difficult when I only know 2 cities.
Don't worry, we know 2.5.
Mm-hmm.
If you need, I can take you back to the main map so you can see the other major city areas.
You should be able to just click on the regional map.
Yeah,
Top and
the thing
Mhm.
that says regional map new, you can see the other cities.
it just takes its sweet time to load. We've been to Deepfield, we know about Starwick, and we're going to Mirkot.
Yep. There's
We also
several
know about
cities on the map.
Daggerhaven.
Yeah. Daggerhaven, Deepfield, Starwick, Terramart, Mirkot, Berman, and there are villages to the far north. Farland and Ruerton.
Which we have never fucking talked about, so don't.
Yep.
We'll use one of those. Farland?
Yes.
If you want my opinion, use Berman.
Berman.
Because Berman is a major city.
Yes.
Oh shit. Bounty's pretty neat.
Yeah, Bounty's pretty cool.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So looks like you were naming something and failed to name something, Joe.
Where?
Bottom.
New text.
New text.
Oh.
Can't wait to
I
go
love
here.
this city of new text.
New text.
Kind of an island mass.
I kind of want it to be called new text.
Or like
God damn it.
a different pronunciation of new text, maybe?
Noi
Spell it
text.
weird.
Nute.
Yeah.
Mute.
Nute. The city of Nute.
What are these mountains called?
They are called the Verdant. I believe they're called the Emerald Mountains because they are very luscious and green. The mountain range that runs all the way up through the land here is the Emerald Mountain Range.
Right, so you and Mrs. We met up right outside Terramart, and we had plans to go to Berman?
Berman.
I can't say why, I was just pretty new. Like I said, this one was the shortest I was with you guys.
So, a little lore for the Terramart locals of this universe. Berman is very isolationist. They typically don't let outsiders in. Despite it being a large city, they don't trade with Terramart or Starwick or any of the other city areas on the other side of the mountain range.
Imagine if Willow knows that and hears, oh, we were going across the mountains to Bourbon. Willow just kind of scoffs. Well, if you had some way that you were actually going to talk to those folk over there and do anything meaningful and useful with them, you're going to have to let me know the secret.
Oh, the secret be Alexandria. She's even harder-headed than Madigan.
And Willow just looks over at Aang. As hard-headed as she might be, doesn't mean that she's hard-headed enough to make them do anything useful. We've been trying to negotiate with Berman for, well, my parents' entire lifetime, and now Emerson's having to pick up the pieces.
Aang tilts her head very curiously. So long as that.
Michonne will look up. It was Hawk's idea.
Knowing smile from Aang.
So was she trying to hide, then? And
What I gathered. Oh.
Did you say from what you gathered?
Yeah. He doesn't seem like the type to need to hide anything.
Well,
Small crack in smile.
why the hell would you go to Berman? So many better places. Decide Willow has a family grudge against Berman in just this moment.
Fuck Berman. Hashtag go Terramarked.
Hamrock Tigers.
Terramarked Tigers versus the
Berman Bears.
Bears!
Isn't Berman literally a type of cat?
I don't know.
Harry, you're the expert.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't... Yeah, it's a
It
Berman
is,
cat.
Yeah!
Spelled slightly differently, but yeah. Good job, Zell.
Oh, they're like the Siamese cat, but they're from Burma.
Fur cat.
They're very cute.
Burmese.
Look at this little guy.
Okay. Focus.
We're waiting for Joe to give the lore to
Sorry.
Iris.
Yeah, so the hunters, god damn it. So the hunters of Terramarked have ventured onto the mountain range and gone most of the area around it, but once you go over the peak and start to come down onto the other side into the valley that Berman is dominant on, hunters were often turned away. And it's never broken out into a fight because the hunters steer away from trying to fight other humans. But there have been moments that are really tense. Certainly ones with Hawk, where Hawk had been on her own venturing over the mountain range and ran into a squad of people from Berman who were armed to the teeth and doesn't know why they're out there, but they never came over onto our side, the Terramark side of the mountain.
Huh. Territorial bastards.
They're very territorial, they're very isolationist, and despite being isolationists, they have a pretty healthy size of a population. It is a big fort city. Much like Terramarked, it is like the combined brick architecture from ancient buildings that were built like centuries ago that were all smooshed together into this like jumbled hyper city of stone.
So
it has more stonework from the old world than Terramarked does. Terramarked
they don't
was
allow
largely
people
built.
in general. correct?
In general, yes.
Okay.
They do not let strangers in. The only communication with them has been through messengers sent over the wall and out the door.
Mr. God, what about artists and performers?
No. That does not mean that people have not gotten in. It just means that Berman won't let them in. But it's a big city. There are cracks in the walls, especially if you manage to grease the right palm. It's just that, for the most part, the group here wouldn't know about those avenues, or wouldn't have accessed them.
Did, like, Maddie say out loud, territorial bastards?
Yeah.
Lilith smirks and gestures in her direction, and then we'll turn and head to, because I think Hylos was originally setting up a fire from last session. So
Yeah, he was setting up the camp.
Theoretically would be a pot boiling, so she's going to start making herself tea and make everybody else tea, and then just as she is working, shake her head. Well, feel free to stay with us long enough to have a cup, if you so desire, but otherwise, Tamarkt is vaguely that direction. She points to where she thinks Tamarkt is. And if you want to travel with us, well, there's some other questions you need to answer first.
Michonne will scrunch up his face and... Don't I get one in?
Question? Not until you
Yeah.
drop ours.
And he'll wait.
And if you're traveling with us, how good are you at handling yourself? Can you handle yourself? What's your thoughts on creatures, hunters, and magic? And are you planning on jumping down the next well that you see in the hopes that you're just going to magically find this fiancé of yours?
Every time that he looks like he's about to open his mouth, Willow will ask another question and he loses track. The important note is, when Willow says magic, she'll notice that he brightens up.
She has made at least 2 or 3 cups of tea because she knows Aang will accept one. If nothing else.
Aang will accept one, which is very fun. She's just holding it. She just likes the vibe. She'll drink it too. She likes to be included.
Turns, stares, realizes that there is not a lot going through the hamster wheel at the moment, and sighs. Can you handle yourself?
Here's the one who trained me, so...
Who's the one that trained?
It's Pierre.
Pierre perks up and is like,
Towards Pierre.
he looks just as surprised as you do.
Michonne will flex, and he goes, I didn't always have these. I was a dancer way back in the day.
Pierre, seems a little bashful at the idea of, helping train someone.
Paige turns to look at him. And she is going to poke him in the ribs. And this is Papa doesn't teach you anything.
I don't think we were able to quite translate that one.
Motherfucker, I feel like...
I think I've got it. I think you said that Papa never taught you anything.
Yeah.
Before.
And you say that Papa doesn't teach you anything.
Ah.
So Pierre, like, he just kind of just shrugs it off. He just goes, he doesn't. He just kind of waves the hand dismissively, like, clearly a bit taken aback by what is supposedly something he did.
Wait. She's gonna turn to Michonne. What exactly is it did you?
Pretty much everything I know.
And that is...
How to
You
punch.
can take your time. Oh, okay.
You know how to punch, Pierre.
Yes. My father, he has taught me some things. And he clenches a fist and pantomimes a punch.
Why didn't you tell us?
It is never... I did not think it would come up.
He doesn't want to spar with you, Madigan.
Also that.
I wasn't gonna suggest that.
I don't believe you.
Right now, you would when you're drunk.
Oh, that's a good idea.
No? Later. Do you want to walk another 4 to 5 hours while drunk?
Pierre can carry me? No?
No, I cannot carry you.
The rest of your stuff.
And I am small.
And to the very least, you can walk yourself.
Fine. But to answer all your questions, it is also because he kind of hates the training.
I prefer the life of a cook, huh?
The life of a cook, what?
So you prefer the life of a cook?
He kind of shrugs and bashfully nods. It's simple. It's comfortable.
No need to defend it, you're actually decent at it.
Smiles.
Just decent?
Yeah, to be fair, he's had fair competition.
This is true. Angerhard is a very talented chef.
And the same can be said of thee.
He smiles.
Smile, sip from obviously still too hot tea.
Play a little
She
wince.
okay?
She's fine.
Is the paper mache melting?
Does she burn?
I mean, she doesn't have any fire immunities. I just thought it would be neat if, I just thought it'd be neat.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
We're just clowning on the paper mache meme.
So you claim that you're able to handle yourself. And then that leads us to thoughts and opinions. And she very pointedly looks at Michonne and holds up a hand to count them out. Hunters, creatures, magic.
Never had too much of an issue with hunters. Learned pretty on that the missus was one. And looks to Aang and Maddie.
Extremely happy Aang. Silent.
intimidating, but like I learned early on if kept my head down, they wouldn't bother me. Can't say I've ran into many creatures. Not sure what you're. Are you talking about the rabbit?
And Willow kind of blinks, opens her mouth to be like, no, I'm not talking about the rest. She's like, closes her mouth and looks towards Aang. Yes, I suppose that's one of the creatures that we could be talking about.
Ah, I believe Willow is speaking of me.
Eyes widen. Oh, same as the hunter's son. If I didn't bother them, they didn't bother me. As for magic, I truly believe that it could fix and heal gesture around him everything. Everything broken, everything out of place. That's what Kat was working towards. That's why I don't think I'm just wandering.
You don't think you're just wandering?
Mm-hmm.
Willow's eyes kind of narrow a little bit. Look him head to toe. And she turns back and sips on her cup and will look at Paige over the brim of her cup. Trying to weigh Paige's thoughts and reaction.
Paige. Would Willow have made tea for Paige too?
If she seemed at all inclined towards it.
If she couldn't have alcohol, tea it is. She's just gonna put a fuck ton of sugar in it.
That's fine. She has honey.
Okay. Ajin also takes a sip, meets Willow's eyes, and it's like a slight narrowing of like, still on guard, because this is just a fucking person who just popped out of a well and is making all sorts of claims. But there's like a ease of the shoulders, tilt down of the head as she puts the cup down on her lap. It's fine, I guess. Better than any alternative, really.
Willow will just incline her head back to Michonne. And then lastly, you're wandering along with us. What are you planning on doing? Just sticking with us until you see another well to jump down, or what is the plan exactly? As I can assure you, none of us here have any connection with Catriona from this universe or otherwise.
That might be so, but in my universe, you are helping her figure out that magic. And I don't want to say I'm using you, but if you happen to figure out how to send me back, then by all means, I want to see you live to that day. It's more than just need to get back to her.
There's kind of a long stare. Willow is calculating something in her head. Very plainly. And she finally takes a deep breath and see her kind of head go side to side. Well, to be perfectly frank with you, we've only just discovered confirmed, I should say, the existence of these tunnels and the potentials of there being others, other people, other places. I would wager that there's must be at least some sort of mathematical basis to all of it, if nothing else. And she finally just kind of like looks over to Maddie and just waves a hand. But so long as you don't cause trouble, I don't see any reason why we need to chase you off at the very least. And if you do know us, as you claim you do, then you know that should you actually cause any trouble, well, that would be a mistake on your behalf.
But that won't happen, right, Misha? Puts an arm around him.
Misha.
Good luck telling her not to call you that now.
Aang will playfully wrap her knuckles across Maddie's forehead as if she was knocking on a door, just very light. Yes, quite hard.
She just gives like a annoyed, like, not actually mad, but just playfully annoyed. Sticks her tongue out.
I have a question here. Because he's been kind of quiet this entire time. Paige is going to turn over to Hylas. What's he doing? What are his thoughts on this?
Hey. So
Turns.
he has been awfully quiet.
Yeah.
And you know, usually he's like a pretty quiet guy, but I think there is probably something a little bit off, because you haven't even heard so much as a delightfully airheaded thing like come out of his mouth this whole time.
But he's like, you know what? I feel like we are like 3 comments short. Let me check in.
He finished setting up the camp a while ago, and he has been kind of at the back of the group, arms crossed, listening to Michonne's story. And I think every time he's kind of like looked off to see like what you were doing or like getting up to, his expression probably lightened up a bit. But you sort of catch him in this moment where his eyes are a little bit narrowed, squinted, like there is actually some kind of effort to put some kind of calculation together in his head.
Okay.
You would kind of get the vibe that maybe there was a part of Michonne's story that he's thinking about, or something like that. But if you're obvious about like turning around to him, he probably locks eyes with you, and you see the eyebrows just kind of raise, and those eyes, go back to big and round, and he just kind of gives a
I feel like it's kind of like when you catch an animal looking at themselves in the mirror, and it's like they're realizing that it's them. Where it's like, wait a second, this is another dog. Wait, is this me? Oh, look, treat!
It is a lot like that, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, Paige quirks up an eyebrow towards him. And is he, like, far away?
Definitely not, like, conspicuously far away, but notably at the back of things. If I could imagine a setup for how this place looks, I guess there's like a fire going with like the teapot, on or around it. And I imagine at the very least most people are kind of around that fire. I probably wouldn't say Hylas is exactly around it. He's like off to the side a bit.
Okay. Oh.
Maybe like 10 feet back.
Yeah. Well, Paige is gonna...
Oh, thank you for the ambiance.
Oh, hell yeah.
Perfect.
Just gonna pick herself up with her little teacup. It's like, okay, well, I'm gonna go get more sugar in this, because it's not enough. Never is enough. Now, wander over to Hylas while the interrogation part 2 happens. And she is going to ask him a question. Now that she has his attention, and presumably at least one brain cell.
You think you saw one active?
Yeah, so it's like, okay, so they exist.
If only for a moment.
Only for a moment. I know that they exist. And what are your thoughts on the situation?
He smiles and says, all this stuff going on with Mitchell?
Mitchell?
Fucking Mitchell.
Oh, man. I love you, Hylas.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I said the same thing. We said the same thing.
No, but... Yes, your thoughts?
He does kind of a shrug, without uncrossing his arms. There's a little shrug and smile, and he says, why should I get any thoughts on it? Doesn't concern me, right?
I think that you should have some thoughts. And you should get to say you are part of the group now, no?
He's still smiling, but he's smiling with a bit of a squint.
Squint back.
And his eyes kind of dart in Michonne's direction. And, like, back to you. And, he says, what does he say? Yeah, I think he says, suppose I am, just for now. But that's just by chance, right?
Maybe. But he did seem familiar with you too. So, maybe no?
So, I guess here comes my fun question. Michonne has had this sort of air of, recognizing, people in the party. And he has name-dropped everybody in the party.
Uh-huh.
Except for one person, and I think Hylas kind of picked up on that.
Wasn't it?
And he
Didn't
kinda-
Maddie smell Hylas too? On him?
No.
No.
So, I guess now I'm gonna ask, was there any error of recognition going on between Michonne and Hylas?
Charlie, do you want to take this one?
I think if it would make the most sense if Michonne encountered Hylas in the very first iteration, and not since then.
Okay. So early, somewhere in their early life, their early world jumping, Hylas made an appearance, but not a long appearance.
Cameo.
Is this Hylas joined via Hawk? No.
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 Mm-mm.
This Hylas bumped into them in the woods.
Very randomly.
Mm-hmm. And is now being paid in marshmallows to make sure Paige doesn't die.
In marshmallows.
He doesn't know what that means yet.
Am I thinking of the boys?
You might be thinking.
You might be thinking of the boys.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hylas is just one man.
Only one man.
He is the man.
He is neither a vampire or a werewolf.
That we know of.
Yeah, I don't
And
know.
I think in that one man fashion, I don't think he really says this to you, Paige, but I think he just goes maybe a bit to himself. Well, I'm the only me I know about. I don't know him. It's not really my business if he stays, right? And he said right quite a few times here. And usually he kind of gives the vibe like he is constantly looking for affirmation that, like, you know, he's on the right track, like, you know, in the time that he's been traveling with you, that's been his vibe, like, you want me to do this, right? Or, you know, just checking with you, this is okay, right? You kind of feel like maybe right in this context is him telling you that it is. That that's what he thinks. He's not asking you.
I'm just gonna take a sip of her tea. Probably glance back at Michonne talking to the rest of the party before looking back at Hylas. If that is how you feel, and who am I to tell you? But, you know, you have been here for longer than he has. He just got here. So, I think you have more of a place here than he does right now, no?
His eyes sort of go off to the side and up, like he's thinking about it. And I think he lets out a little, It's a bit of a lighter expression here. And he kind of tilts his head back at you. So he like tilted his head with that thought and then tilts it back in your direction. And he goes, you a fan of this guy?
No.
Oh.
Shrug.
Not what I expected, actually.
What?
Oh, it's just you seem...
Seem... Finish your thoughts?
He starts scratching the back of his head and he goes, I thought you were acting kind of weird. Is that how you show contempt?
She raises up the eyebrow. What's you talking about?
He is now looking at you like he's freaked out. He's like speaking a foreign language he doesn't know about.
Are you talking about the benches with the hands?
Yeah. That's kind of weird to say that. Yeah.
I don't really care for him. So, putting neutral on whether he joins or not. Like you said, just because, he seems familiar with a version of us doesn't mean that, I know him. Or that, we know him. So, it is a, how do you say, weird stranger in the woods, which is probably someone we shouldn't talk to, so, it is what it is.
At that, he kind of closes his eyes, tilting. Now maybe that's where you lost me. Woods are full of nothing but weird strangers.
I think I'm starting to realize that. Anyway, do you feel... Do you think... Fuck. Do you not want him to be here? Or are you okay?
I think he finally uncrosses his arms and it kind of holds up his hands with a sort of "I'm fine" gesture, and he says, "I'm perfectly all right with him. Perfectly. I'm all right with him staying."
Any hint of deceit? Do we need to roll?
No, I don't think so. He'll continue and say, "I'm all right with him staying." I'm not worried about a thing right now. What was the end of that sentence? I just said it.
I'm not worried about a thing right now.
I'm not worried about a thing right now. I just didn't have much, I just don't think I have much stock in the matter.
Stock?
I don't know what I meant by that. And I'm keeping that in character.
The language barrier. She's like, what? Stock? What do you mean? We're moving past it. Yeah, we're moving. We're moving past it. Okay. Just what I would ask, considering you're usually not so quiet for this long.
Want me to talk more? I can talk more.
You know what? If it makes you happy, feel free. You know?
He's keeping up this, like, light, expression, but I think the next words out of his mouth are, then you, come all the way over here to get something?
She's going to look down at her cup. Yes. Not enough sugar. She's going to reach into her bag. Marshmallow time. She's going to offer one to Hylas.
Oh. And for me?
Do you not want?
Sorry, what was that?
Do you not want?
He holds it in his palm and he kind of brings it up to his face. And he sort of moves it from the palm between, like, his index finger and his thumb. And he sort of, like, gives it a little, like, light squish, like he's feeling the texture.
She's going to take a bite out of the marshmallow, looking at him. Just inspect the marshmallow.
He sees you do that, and he sort of brings it up to his mouth, and I think gives it a smell first.
I think Kay just clued in. This man doesn't know what a fucking marshmallow is.
He keeps looking back at you.
She nods.
His eyes are like darting between you and the marshmallow, and he just kind of puts it in his mouth. And how big is this marshmallow?
Jumbo.
Oh, it would be such weird freak behavior to eat the whole thing.
Shove it all the way into your mouth while
I will say, he did see Paige take a bite out of it. So he did see normal behavior.
Okay, I think, yeah, he's gonna take a bite. You're right.
Is Golas normal, though? Really?
Mm-hmm.
By God, in this moment, he is trying to be.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What's his reaction to eating a marshmallow for, I assume, the first time?
Yeah, he he takes a bite, and there is sort of like a widening of the eyes. It looks like he is actively trying to keep his expressions pretty subtle. And he swallows and just kind of goes, "Oh, that's new." What is this?
Takes another bite of her marshmallow. This is a marshmallow. It is a plate. It is even better when you put it over the fire. I will show you how. Don't use it yourself.
He kind of looks at the remaining half of the marshmallow. And he kind of tilts his head. There is, like, a look of serious consideration on his face. Give me just a second. Somebody has knocked on my door.
I feel like Paige is now just watching a real-life documentary of, like, man's first discovery of a marshmallow.
I like to imagine that Hylas also said somebody knocked on my door and departed. And that's how he says, I need to have a think.
I need to have a think. Hold on one second. There's a thought coming up. I gotta go read it.
Also, I'm going to...
Such wonderful news.
Oh, yeah?
We were supposed to move tomorrow. We're moving next Monday.
Hey! We love more time.
I was not going to sleep tonight.
Oh.
Get some sleep. You deserve it.
And I have a midterm tomorrow.
Oh my god!
The day
You're
of the move.
still not going to sleep tonight, but for a different reason.
But what were you saying, Jack?
I'm going to make some journal entries for lore for the world so that you guys are less uninformed. But I will do that in the background on my own time, which I don't have.
Okay.
Did you all want to continue your character conversation?
Yeah, I'm having fun with it.
Okay, go. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt.
Is it okay?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Yeah, where were we?
What does it taste like? What are your thoughts? Paige is just
Yeah,
IRL watching a documentary right now.
I think by now, you might have questioned, like, you offered to pay this man in marshmallows. He accepted, and you probably questioned since then, like, has he had marshmallows before? It is so painfully obvious in this moment that he is forming new thoughts and opinions.
Fascinating.
That being said, yeah. He has his brows furrowed, and he's got the remaining half between his thumb and index finger. And he just goes, huh. That's pretty sweet.
She nods, takes another bite. I believe it is mostly made of sugar. So yes, it is pretty sweet. It's good.
Yeah. He's looking at it kind of long and hard, And he eats the other half and chews it, swallows it, and he kind of bobs his head a bit side to side, like kind of thinking.
I feel like at this point, Paige has completely forgotten about Michonne, because what the fuck is this in front of her?
Somebody who's on the fence about marshmallows.
You either like them or you don't. I've never seen someone take this long to think if they like sugar or not.
I like to imagine that in the background of this scene, there's like a very, very animated conversation going on.
Same, right?
Like a fight is about to break out back there.
Aang has to hold Maddie back for some reason.
And it's over like
There's plenty of reasons.
Being called Misha. Like something benign. It's like, I want to call him Misha.
They said the wrong type of cheese was the best.
Maddie tried to pronounce Bordeaux again.
Maddie's just like, the bullshit, you can't do 37, I'm trying to think of how to...
3017 isn't how you count!
I'm trying to think of how you can mispronounce pirouette. You can't do 37 of those in a row. Bichon tries right then and there. That's my fanfiction, thank you for coming. He finishes eating the marshmallow and, he goes, Dunno. I can expect more of these?
Yes, if you want some.
This is my payroll, right?
She nods. But if you don't select some, we can figure something else out.
He smiles and he says, well, I agreed to these, and they're fun.
Alice, if you don't like some, I'm not going to force you to keep taking them. We can, swap it out for something else.
The smile fades into a slightly more inquisitive look.
Do you have a food that you like? A snack?
We've been over this. He doesn't.
I don't think I was there for that.
Oh, yeah, you weren't.
Yeah.
We were playing the question game. And
Yeah.
Aang's question to Hylas was, what's your favorite food? So she could cook it for him. And he said, I don't know.
And I think that's exactly... he has that inquisitive look on his face, and he goes right back to, his usual, and he just goes, dunno.
And a pause. Of like, Paige's like, what, don't know? You don't know. And there's like a eyebrow raise of like, what the fuck do you mean you don't know? And then she stops for a second. And she looks at Hylas. And I imagine they're standing like, regular distance.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Can take like lean in the tiniest bit closer. He's like, Alice, I have a question, if you do not mind.
He notices her leaning in. He leans in as well.
Have you always had access to food? Did you ever get a choice in what you ate?
He kind of so like he leaned down when you like started keeping your voice down and he starts standing up straight slowly and for a moment it looks like he doesn't really know how to answer that and he says don't know how much choice I can really get. I just eat what I can get my hands on. Whatever makes my stomach stop growling.
Paige blinks for a second. Oh. Iris. Make a gesture of like, come here. Come back down here.
Oh. Yeah. He enters the zone.
Hand on his shoulder. You're gonna have to fucking squat, my dude.
I think he is just about he is going to like almost be sitting on his haunches.
She's like, okay, good, eye level, hand on shoulder.
His hands are probably on his knees as he's like bent over here.
Iris, I need you to remember what I am going to say, okay? It is going to be very difficult, but I need you to try, okay?
You're telling me.
Yes, I know, that's what I am saying. Things are different now, yes?
Now?
Yes.
With you lot?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. You? If I can help it, I'm never going to not have a choice in what you eat again, okay? I'm never going to not have a choice. That's what I meant to say.
Okay, and I'm writing this down, so if Paige can help it, Hylas is never
going to not have a choice in what he eats. As in, you are not going to have to eat whatever you can get your hands on again. You're going to have better standards for yourself from now on. God damn it. Okay?
He's looking at you from like the corner of his eye, and he says, "You want me to remember that?"
Okay, maybe that was too hard for you. How about this? Remember that...
No.
You know what? Okay, you know what? Look at me.
Was that a look at me?
Yes, look at me.
He turns his face towards yours.
Just listen to whatever I say, okay?
tilts his head and says, "I try to."
Okay, good. You are released. Hand off shoulder. Pat, pat on the shoulder. Oh, and one more thing. She's gonna pick up her little snacky. Probably grab a couple more marshmallows and like a little camp bowl. A little snacky for the group. Maybe a couple of little biscuits that go well with tea. That aren't just overloaded with sugar so that someone else can eat them besides Paige too. If you have any thoughts on anything, I would like to ask them, yeah?
He sort of awkwardly scratches the back of his head again. And he goes, "Well, don't know what for, but if you insist."
She nods, satisfied. Go on. Offer him a choice. Do you want another marshmallow or do you want a cookie? Here is your first choice.
He looks between them.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like the cookie, like, he reaches his hand out when, like, you offer them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think his hand pauses between the two for a moment.
She'll
and
wait.
Yeah, he briefly glances, like, to you, and then to his options, and he gravitates towards the cookie.
Okay. Alice now has a cookie. Baked by Pierre, I'm sure.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Delightful.
Delightful. Alright.
Were there any conversations happening crosswise?
Michonne just finished the 38th pirouette.
I mean, Michonne was asking if he could ask questions earlier, but that's if Charles has the brain power still.
I'm not gonna lie, I forgot the questions.
Charlie, you gotta ask the questions when they're there. Otherwise, they're gone.
Or type
Otherwise,
them down.
I start doing homework.
They're flown into the ether.
No, I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. Did some art history in the meantime.
If you think of the questions, we can say that you guys were discussing that in the interim.
Oh, here's the question. What's the purpose of going to the next town that was mentioned earlier that I've forgotten?
Murcott.
He asked that there'd be kind of a pause, although not fully wanting to, like, fucking out Abigail. And she just kind of tilts her head. Well, trying to find a place for Abigail to settle down for a little bit. Primarily, at least. She's rather young to be wandering the woods on her own.
If you want to split up then, I mean, the road from Murcott to Terramark's pretty straight.
And relatively frequently patrolled, from what I understand.
Nod.
I'm not looking to, guess wander around this world by myself just yet, so... If you have me, think of me as another bodyguard.
Does Michonne look like he can handle himself? In all honesty, or does he look very posh?
I mean, right now he looks like he's had better days.
Does he look rugged, though?
I imagine right now Michonne is peak rugged. Maybe a little bit of stubble going on.
Right. Yeah, I feel like his default would be very I am a pretty kept man, but this is his most rugged.
You can definitely see Maddie eye you up and down with like a we'll see about that kind of vibe.
You asked me earlier my thoughts on hunters and creatures and magic, but is the church still like
Horrible? Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a visible flinch from Aang at the mention of the church, just as there probably was earlier at the mention of being surrounded by them.
I will note that Aang would have noticed that he is indeed wearing a I'm blanking. Rosary. There we go.
She'll take note of it. She won't comment on it now. But it's added to the Rolodex.
In a lower voice, such that Abigail won't hear, but definitely directed towards Willow. You haven't run into any issues with specifically the church looking for Abigail, have you?
Willow. There's a moment of kind of non-reaction as she's just examining him before she slowly shakes her head. To be fair, we just found her ourselves.
The Abigail before last. They said that she was key.
We've heard similar.
Anything on the halls?
Talking about the tunnels?
I am assuming so, Mr. God?
Mm-hmm. The halls below, the tunnels, is same thing.
And that we just confirmed as an actual thing. That was it. Yesterday, this morning. Not that we haven't heard rumours of one sort or another, nor had run-ins in the past.
He looks like he wants to say something, but he will let it drop.
Willow just arches a brow at him. Here, come on now. You know something, tell it. Otherwise you're going to fuck up and say it later.
It's not that I know something necessarily. This. I don't know how, but I always seem to find it. The tunnels, anyway. You and yours, do you have any intention on traveling there?
In the back of your mind, Willow, you hear like a distant voice that sort of is speaking in reverse. You hear this. Yes. You recognize this voice as odd.
Willow nods. Eventually, yes. We need to get a few things sorted first.
You can think of that as my purpose, then. When the time comes, I'll lead you down there.
She kind of raises a brow, looks him like up and down for a moment. Well, I suppose if you are capable of handling yourself, that's just another body to throw into the pile that you were looking for, Maddie.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Essentially saying it's another body. You're looking for bodies for this.
Okay. And I guess you're right there. See how you handle yourself. We're still gonna head. Oh,
After you.
I'm gonna say we're still heading to Murkoff, though, right?
Hawk first, I assume.
Nod. Still got a lot of travel ahead of us.
And more than likely more than a few opportunities for you to prove that you are capable of doing more than just popping out of wells and punching people.
Well, I can do a pirouette if you want to see that.
And Willow just kind of like blinks at him and there's a smirk. Yeah, I'd be interested in seeing how well that would charm the next werewolf or troll or fey queen we come across. Might have a shot at the fey queen.
We are not going back there.
No, we don't have to go realize there was a likelihood of an existence of another.
Abigail's eyes are sparkling, and she looks at you, Willow, and is like, "You guys met a fairy queen?"
She's a rather
Unfortunately.
unpleasant stepmother to Aang. Though her court is actually nice.
Abigail's eyes somehow fill with even more wonder, and she turns to you, Aang, and just goes, "Your mother is a fairy queen?"
Aang is going to try to say yes. Is she permitted to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She is your mother. Stepmother, but mother.
Aang nods. Yes, though matters are a bit strained. Many stories have I concerning her court. Would it gladden thy heart to hear them?
She nods very enthusiastically.
Aang will gentle hand between shoulders and glancing to the other adults in the party, TM, she will start leading Abigail away to tell her some stories. If you guys want to talk about non-Abigail friendly things.
As soon as she's out of earshot, Willow will look towards Michonne, and there is, I think for the first time, a kind of sharp smile. Not wholly friendly or curious.
Is my boy in danger?
What exactly do you know about Abigail?
Or any of us.
Oh,
Willow, as you get this keen look in your eye and focus in on Michonne, you can feel the presence of Summer right beside you, mimicking whatever posture or pose you're in, doing the same exact thing as you, pointing herself at Michonne. And she says, knowing full well that Michonne can't hear or see her, but anticipating that you will speak for her and say, "Do you know about our little predicament? A little setup?" Drawing a finger between herself and you.
Willow will kind of tilt her head in Summer's direction. Like, I heard you. We're gonna get to that. She was planning on asking that eventually.
I can't say I know. I guess if you just met her much more than you. All I know is that for some reason the church wanted her.
In every version of reality, or just that one particular one?
On this one in particular, like I said, Rosemary had been acting a bit weird. The tunnels had never come up until towards the very end.
She gestures towards Maddie. And the rest of us?
Well, I was hoping you would be closer to Kat in this world, but if you're not, then there's only so much I could go off of. You and her back then. Thick as thieves you guys were. Any idea that you'd counter with your own you guys go on hours talking God knows what. And like I said, she was a brains. There's... She was looking into some relics and reached out for your help then. I think I know a bit more about Pierre than I do Paige. Like I said, he was the one who trained me. I tease, but I genuinely think I'd be dead if it weren't for him. Is Pierre in this group right now?
I will ask you all, do you mind if Pierre joins this little group? I imagine this is happening while the conversation with Hylas and Paige is happening.
I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
Pierre will, yeah, he's over with the group, like, played to the side there, and as you mention him and, like, he wouldn't probably be alive without his help, he gets a little awkward and just kind of shuffles around and just goes, I do what I can, I suppose.
No offense to you, though, but I think I'm the better cook.
That does get a little, like, twitch of the eye out of him, but he stifles that.
I know there's a Riley involved. Childhood friends, I think Paige
Riley's... Yes. Riley is Paige's boyfriend. He's a nice man. Pierre seems a little bit like kind of lost in thought. And he just kind of stares at you for a second, Michonne. And catches himself just kind of gawking at you. And shakes his head and goes, sorry. I do not need to stare. It is just... this whole thing, he just kind of gestures to you and this group, has been a lot to take in. You are from another world. And if you had told me such things a few weeks ago, I would tell you that it is fairy tale stuff. I don't know what it means for us now. What it means that there is another world out there with another me. Or another you. And he gestures to Maddie. Another all of us. It unsettles me to think about it for long.
If it helps. There might be a cat in Termarked, but she is not my cat. There might be other Pierres and other Willows, Maddies. But you never were one-on-one the same.
Every version was different?
Oh.
Sometimes subtly, sometimes subtle. But yeah.
Well, like how?
Michonne will look in Aang's direction. The last group I was with, You weren't traveling with Aang. You were traveling with Hawk.
Okay.
I didn't get all of the details, but I was told things were pretty ugly at the tail end of whatever mess happened there.
Were we hunting her?
I never came across you, in fairness, so I can't answer that. It was with Aang I was with, so whatever details I had came from her.
Maddie's trying to wrap her head around this, like, whoa. How? You said people in your group died last time. Who? How?
And at this, he clasps his hand together and squeeze. And you find that his nails are digging into the back of his palms. We'd gotten lost, and food was pretty scarce. It got to the point where we resorted to rats. Priority was always to feed Abby. He bites his lips. I'm sorry. I was just this morning.
No, it's fine. Sorry.
You see him trying to come up with any sort of explanation to what he experienced just hours prior. But the best he could do is look up and stare straight into Aang's direction.
Yuma do a thing.
I'm gonna do a thing. this one?
That's a hell of a roll.
You're scared of Aang.
I'd be saying the least, yeah. But yes. True, there's reason to be scared of all of you, but...
His eyes kind of narrow for a moment. And she looks over to Maddie and takes a breath. And feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, Michelle. Aang lost control.
He'll look up to Willow. And she'll see, like, genuine sadness in his eyes. I don't know how true that is. She told me to run.
Yeah, that does sound like her. She'd try if she could.
Pierre nervously looks between Willow and Michonne and looks over to Aang, who is just off to the side, telling a story still to Abigail, and I imagine them both looking quite happy. One happy listening, and the other happily telling. And Pierre will look over at Michonne and say, I don't understand. If she told you to run, then maybe she was trying to get you away from some kind of creature? Did you watch her die? I don't think I have all the pieces to this puzzle.
I woke up specifically to you, Pierre. I guess to plainly put, she did lose control. And she was eating you.
Pierre, goes stock still. And you see just a creeping terror slowly bleed into his expression. He looks over to Aang. And there's something deep there now. You can see he starts to try to form words to ask another question, asking anything. But he just kind of moves his mouth up and down a little bit. not able to really find any words.
We'll let him have a moment before she kind of sits up a little straighter. And whether he wants to or not, he needs to not be staring at Aang like a deer in headlights. So she'll reach over, kind of poke him between the ribs, and then grab his hand. Just hold it.
He jumps, like, at your touch. Oh. Sorry.
And she's just kind of like staring at him, holding his hand for a second. And once she is satisfied that he is settled, lets go and like pats his knee.
Right before you let go, he clutches your hand really tightly. And then he reluctantly lets go.
If she's telling people to run, then that means she did have at least some tiny modicum of control and self left. Sure, she did not want to. She's made it very clear that that's one of her greatest fears. And she looks over to Michonne. So, you know, Maddie's a hunter. You know Aang's danger. Apparently Pierre's a better fighter than he wants to let on. Nothing in particular about me or Paige aside from some other willow got along well with your fiancé.
I mean, you've always been private. But you've always been my best bet at finding her.
Willow kind of inclines her head to where she senses Summer. Like, oh, he doesn't seem to know about us. Okay. And looks towards Pierre and kind of gives Pierre a heavy look, though her eyes drift past towards Paige. Looking back into the closet with the witches. Okay.
It was nice to be out while we could.
Yeah.
I mean, I do
One
think
session.
Michonne mentioned something about magic, though, didn't he?
That he thinks he's has a high approval of magic.
Ah.
Yeah, it seems like you've had quite the gamut of interesting encounters with other versions of us.
Don't suppose you've met the me of this world?
And she kind of like squints and looks at him a little closer. See, like the mental, like, okay, maybe if you shaved him and washed him, dunked him in water a couple of times, what would he look like? Can't say that I've met you properly, no. I might have seen you in passing once or twice. There's that vague familiarity of somebody that you nod to on the street. unfortunately, it seems like you're starting from square one with all of us.
Pierre looks a little, like, heartbroken for you, Michonne. He kind of twiddles his thumbs and shrugs and just goes, I'm sorry, my friend. Oh. Would-be friend. I do not recognize you.
It's because I said I'm the better cook, isn't it?
There's a twitch at the corner of his mouth, and he is both still irked by that, but also finds it funny.
Sounds like there needs to be a cook-off to me.
Where are we going to get the food for that? We are going to be cooking the same meal twice.
Mm.
She's just hoping that you'll cook out 2 steaks. But you'll have to go find the steak yourself.
If you want a different meal, go hunting.
If you want me to, I can.
If you want something, maybe we can have a different meal. But right now, it is looking like stew.
Well, I stew's good too.
Yeah, we might find something along the way. We do need to get going. Trying to get a little further.
This is true. It has been a bit of a break.
Maddie will look up at the sun, or like try and get a vibe on the time.
It's getting later.
Yeah, we probably should get going if we want to get any further before dark.
We'll just kind of clap our hands together. Stand up. Paige, Hyla saying we're going.
Aang looks up from the middle of her story, all smiles, as happy and as peaceful as can be. And she looks a little sad, but only in the sense that she wants to keep telling it. And she looks over at Willow. Can we have not a moment more? I'm nearly finished with the tale.
And Willow just kind of like arches a brow at her. Are you telling me you're incapable of walking and talking?
There's a slight pout, but she does nod. Ah, very well. I see the state of things.
Abigail will, like, grab your hand, Aang, your free hand, and say, I'll just walk beside you, if that's okay.
She took Aang's hand?
Yeah.
Aw, that's so sweet. Aang, like, her eyes go a little wide, and then settle in a very, this is really nice way. And she smiles back at her. Yes, of course. It would make me very happy.
She just beams at you. She has been, like, low-key beaming at you the whole time during the story, but, like, in this moment, there is no focus on the story, or focus on, like, setting up camp, or focus on hiking. It's just the still moment of, like, pure happiness radiating from this girl.
And there's the same from Aang, too. There's this... Sometimes people get this look when they're doing something that they really love, and there's that just aura of comfort that comes across them. And I think that's Aang in this moment, where anyone looking at her would be like, oh, she's really in her element, isn't she?
Mm-hmm. But you all saddle up and get ready to continue your hike. And you hike for the remaining amount of daylight you have, before you set up camp, which you're able to get a pretty good ways. You go a little bit further, hiking closer to the dark, so that you have to set up camp a little bit fast and a little bit by torchlight. But you're able to make up any ground that you would have lost otherwise taking a break. And let me see, where are you guys now? So I believe... Yeah. A little bit further down. There we go. So you are well and truly into the valley now. I do have a clarifying question for Aang. So Aang,
Oh my.
are you checking on Hawk in the morning or every evening?
That is a good question. I think
Both. I mean, you could do both, I guess.
I feel like if she knows they're heading toward Hawk, she would check like in the morning and in the evening.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you check in the evening. The sense that you get is that Hawk is out, not at the cabin, but you can understand her to be unwinding from a hike and likely preparing her own camp. But everything seems normal.
I think when she gets that feeling, just for a second, she will go back to the party's camp and sit by the campfire in quiet and imagine that Hawk is also there sitting with them.
Uh-huh.
It's her own little private, this makes me happy moment.
Mm-hmm.
After that, she will probably convey to Maddie that Hawk seems to be relaxing at the same time, too.
Maddie is appreciates the info. Is there any kind of guess on how far she is? Are we closer or further?
Well, Mr. God?
So you are closer technically than you were before because she's not at the cabin, so she is out in the woods somewhere close by, but still more than a day's hike away.
Gotcha.
She's about 3-ish days from you.
And we'll share.
Keep tabs on the direction she's headed.
So, you all... Oops.
Hey Joe, why is there a battle map for the camp?
I have a battle map for every scene.
Mm.
I love visuals. Visual aids are good.
Yeah, One with a grid?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Visual aids are helpful, and I like grids.
Because the last map didn't have a grid.
Don't worry about it.
Nor did the map before that. Curious.
Don't worry about it. So, you all bed down for the evening.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I do have a question.
Mm-hmm.
It has been this way for a consistent historical amount of time. There's precedent.
Mm-hmm.
So I assume it is the same way,
Mm-hmm.
but I just want to clarify.
Mm-hmm.
You guys all bed down at the same time. Aang watches over you for some amount of time, like a few hours, and then will do her own rest, and then she will wake up and continue watching over the group.
I assume that it's like Aang sleeps while everybody is having dinner because she only needs like 2 or 3 hours. So when everybody starts getting ready for sleep, then they can wake her and she's fine and she just stays up.
Gotcha. Okay. So Aang is awake throughout the night.
Which
aside
can
from
we just
when various people have insomnia.
Yes.
Water.
you see someone just random just marching through the snow.
True.
Yeah.
And
I so okay,
Oh,
finish.
No, you first. You
Okay.
first. You
I was
first.
gonna change subject.
Go ahead.
Finish your sentence.
I was just saying, Maddie doesn't go to bed early. She is late. Like she stays up really late.
I was just gonna point out the fact that we have this
Totally
habit.
innocuous map.
Yeah, no. I was gonna say, like, the routine we have for Aang of, like, during dinner and everyone getting ready for bed, Aang sleeps. When everyone gets ready for bed, that's when Aang is awake and watching over us, protecting us. If that's what the last group of us did, Aang had all night to heem and haw and pick which one of us to start eating as we were all sound asleep, huh?
It's not an easy night.
She knows exactly which one she's starting with. She doesn't have to think about it.
Try and resist it, but no.
Literal worst nightmare.
Yeah. I just had to point that out.
Yep. So, as you are all bedding down for the evening, I'm gonna need some dice rolls.
Yay!
Who wants to roll me a d20?
I'll do it.
Yeah,
for it.
Go for it.
Shoot.
Just one?
Just one.
Okay, not exactly some dice rolls, but okay.
Well, there will be more. Lucky number 7.
7.
Hey.
Lucky. It is my favorite number.
Because it gets spread out so we can't blame each other.
Okay, so we got a 7, and I need one more dice roll.
I say Charlie does it.
Charles.
Welcome to the
yeah.
party.
Keep rolling.
Decide our fate, Charles.
Is it?
I'm shaking your hand.
I'm astounded you haven't customized that die yet.
Okay.
I don't go to the school.
I'll show you.
So, you all bed down, and as you are all in your respective little camp beds, you take off whatever like gear you have and set it out, and just kind of rest in whatever little location you have carved out in this heinous woodland. Now, as you are all well and truly asleep, and Aang is the only one awake, Aang, I need you to roll me a perception check.
Alright. Let me see here. Perception. God, I forget it's on the other fucking side. Oh no.
Aang.
My passive is a 15.
Your passive is a 15. I will gladly give you your passive if that is what you want.
I think a 15 is better than a 7.
Mm-hmm. A 15 is better than a 7.
I will take the 15.
Okay. So, as you're watching, you are keeping your eyes peeled, looking into the darkness. The fire has completely gone out, and only the ashes remain. And it is dark wood. Like, you are used to the woods being already like a dark and oppressive kind of atmosphere. But you have called it home for a long time. But tonight, in particular, feels darker than normal. And as you are watching out in the darkness, you see something emerge. It is... At first, you see like a rustle of the bushes. And you see the rustle get a little bit closer to camp. And a little bit closer. And a little bit closer. And then the rustle stops. Such that if you were perched in a tree somewhere, It would be like a rustle in the bushes, not but 20 feet maybe from the edge of camp.
Aang, God help me. I've been so traumatized. Aang will try to sneak a little closer.
To be fair, she also promised Willow.
She did, but she doesn't know what she's seeing yet.
So, when you sneak closer, go ahead and make me a stealth roll. There you go. That's good.
The way I held my breath.
So as you sneak closer, you are staying in the treetops.
Mm-hmm.
So as you sneak closer, you get onto a perched branch above where this bush is. But when you peer down into the bush, you can't quite make out what's there. But you can distinctly see that the bush itself is not that big. It is a small thing that is hiding in that bush, obstructed by it. You can see something between the leaves and the branches of the bush as it rustles. There's like something pink in there.
I don't know, Paige is gonna want to keep it.
Yeah, probably. Can Aang Batman Dracula hang from the tree branch to try to get a better look?
Yes, but if you want to stay in stealth, you'll need to make me another stealth roll.
Alright. Oh, damn you! Damn you!
You have hero point, right?
You do have a hero point.
Your point.
I will also, it's only fair, you're doing the scouting thing, I will give you another hero point for doing your job.
For doing my job, no matter how much my job doesn't want me to.
There you go.
That's better.
So you are poised, crawling down this tree to get closer and closer to the bush. And as you get close to the bush, you see what looks to be like a wad of spines, like a porcupine, but they're pink. And this thing wriggles, and it steps out of the bush just a little bit, and it's crawling on its hands and knees.
Oh, don't love that.
It's very small. It is about the size of, well, I say very small. It's not very small. It's about the size of a toddler. But this thing that crawls out, I'll show you a picture of it.
Okay.
Ooh.
It crawls out on its hands and knees, and it's sniffing the ground. And it's getting closer to camp.
Can Aang, drop down behind it, nothing personnel style?
Sure. But before you do, as you get ready to do this drop down behind it thing, you hear the rustle from another neighboring bush.
Mm-hmm. Okay. If I hear a rustle from another neighboring bush, then that is probably cause to go wake Willow. So Aang will sneak back away, and she will attempt to get to Willow's tent.
Okay. You rush to Willow's tent.
And she will open the side of the tent and try to keep, an eye on where this thing is. But she will peek her head in, all the same. Call out, "Willow, I believe we have company."
I imagine there's not a response from Willow at first, and then probably Summer or Winter fucking wake up. And she kind of jerks and you can tell him to go away.
Okay, you get a hero point for that too. That's funny.
Aang will smile a little bit. I am afraid that they look unaccustomed to such diplomacy. Could I ask thee to wake the others?
Just slowly sitting up, like rubbing at her eyes, fumbling for her glasses. Okay. Just like rolls out of her tent, and
I did promise thee.
there is, well, Aang tries to be nice. Willow, not so much. For some reason, I imagine Hylas and Michonne have been forced into a tent together if they both want to sleep in a tent.
2 rows, 6 feet apart.
And they both get kicked in, like a kick to their feet as she stumbles by.
You don't have to force Hylas to do anything, by the way.
Then going to Maddie, because Maddie's usually the first one if we need to wake things up, because also Paige is going to be a fucking pain in the ass to wake up. And
guilty as charged.
yanks at a fur, realizes Maddie's not letting go of the fur, reaches over, grabs canteen, dumps water, moves on.
As you dump water on Maddie and wake her up, the noise, Willow, as you turn around, you hear, you and Aang both hear it. You hear this kind of gremlin-y, like kind of piggish noise. And you can hear what it sounds like a language being exchanged between two creatures. And as you position yourselves around here, what do you do? Because you can see that they're crawling on the ground, close to the ground, but if you pointedly look at them, they will give up the ghost. They still think that you can't see them right now.
Well, hearing noises, less tired suddenly.
I don't like those noises. I really don't like them.
As Maddie is coughing and sputtering, action! Wake up! Dives into the siblings' tents and just like whatever collars she can find on both of them, yank.
They're just.
What the fuck?
Not friends.
No, not anymore,
Well, if Paige is gonna be sassy, she still has a hand around the collar and is pulling her out of the tent. At least.
Aang, are you going up to one?
Yep, she's going back up into her tree of pouncing.
Oh, so you're in a tree. You're not right beside it.
Yes,
ready
I was
to
trying to
nothing
find
personnel.
to like. I was looking for a thing to convey in tree, but I couldn't find one.
Upside down.
Yes. You know what? Can I turn her upside down? Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Tree Aang.
Tree Aang. Prepared to nothing personnel.
Be careful, they have spines behind them.
You leap into the tree, and then you hear this, and one of them rolls a little bit to its side and points at you, and signals to another one. And they both see that you went up into the tree. They can't see you very well, but they can see that you went up. And they continue scurrying towards camp.
Aang is going to try and attack if she can get the drop on them.
Can we hear the gurgling?
Yes.
Maddie, you can hear the gurgling now. After being splashed with water, you hear the gurgling, and you smell something. It smells like dried blood.
Oh.
Dried blood and sweat.
Hand on hammer.
Okay, can I do something? I understand if the answer is no.
Root reading. You already noticed large creatures in the area. You learn of their presence and they're undetected to you. You can immediately attempt to speak.
Artemis Ping? Artie Ping?
Yeah.
Yo?
Okay. Yeah. I'll let you do that.
Oh, if I believe, would you say that I was, would you perhaps give me Scout's Warning as an action here? Would I be able to have done that? She did warn Willow.
Yes, I will say that you can have your Scout's Warning.
Which is very important for the rest of you.
And good Scout.
Because I can't fucking find it in the, thing, but I will get it on archives.
We are going to... Oh, go ahead.
Basically, everybody gets a +2 to initiative.
Yo!
Cool. This is good. So, we're going to start, and I will say, right now, the only ones who aren't actively prone will be Willow and Aang. Everyone else is assumed to be either sitting down or, like, in the process of getting up, but you're not fully standing up yet. And you don't have any hands-on weapons except Maddie, who rolled over and grabbed her hammer with one hand, I guess.
Grab hammer first before you get up.
It's more like, I imagine she has it set up so that, like, her pillow's against it, so it's, like, literally right above her, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That fancy military training where they teach you to, like, sleep with your gun on you all the time.
Mm-hmm. But...
You would think Chilus does the same thing, but the boastful hunter said it was kind of weird.
He does not... Don't put me by your bed, not your wife.
Oh.
Or your mistress.
Oh, this guy.
I haven't heard him in law so long, I've missed him.
He's such a guy. He truly is one of the guys.
He is that guy.
Stop falling over Abigail and fawn over me instead.
Hey, y'all, the boastful hunter is asking something of you.
So, as we are beginning, we'll start initiative. If everyone would go ahead and roll for their initiative.
+2!
+2. You get a +2.
Okay,
if it just automatically rolls for it and doesn't give you like a little pop-up, I'll just add 2 to your roll retroactively.
Add... Oh, circumstance 2?
I rolled a nat 20!
Damn.
Oh, good.
Aang really is just champing at the bit to nothing personal this thing.
What the fuck? How do you pronounce that name?
What? Oh, the name of the creature?
Yeah.
It's called a puckwudgie.
Puckwudgie.
Oh!
Yup. It's a puckwudgie.
I know these things.
Mm-hmm. They're nasty little shits.
Yep.
Are they as blind as porcupines are?
Let me see. I don't think they are. No. They're actually quite perceptive.
Aw.
They just have gross little faces.
Damn.
But...
They're, which one is it? Wampanoag?
Yes, they are known by many names.
No, Wampanoag is... Wampanoag is the, indigenous tribe that they were divided into.
My bad. I just have it in their little info dump thing that it's like they're called puckwudgies, but also like they have a bunch of different other colloquial names.
The thing that I don't know these things, but the thing that I'm banking on, is the fact that they seem to have flat teeth. Maybe they don't eat people?
I mean, we...
Above table? Above table, they are, like, the lore is that they kidnap people.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Bad little guys.
They kidnap
I really
people, they
rolled the
play
lowest.
tricks on people, they stab people, they push them off cliffs.
Oh, whoa. How uncool.
Okay. Then I think this is a good place to stop right before combat busts out. This will be a hard fight.
Do we get the ping?
Yes, you do get the ping. So you guys are all like slowly getting roused in the middle of the night from your sleep, and then as you are slowly coming to, the Willow ping comes out. Willow communicates it to you, so you're not getting the magical ping in the same way that Willow's getting it, if I'm understanding the spell correctly.
Yes.
Yeah, but Willow, you see both of them clear as day. Like the roots kind of curve around and highlight them from the bush, from the grass. And you can see them very clearly. For the rest of you, you just know their starting position. And they are little shit ambush creatures.
Is
But
it
we'll
only the
stop.
two of them?
It's only the two of them.
At least it's intimidation.
Amy, can you make a note in the notes that Aang is going to do a totally sick dive bomb onto that one?
Hold, let me make the little box real quick. And session. Ooh. Aang is going to do a totally sick dive bomb on them.
Okay.
And we
Quoting
technically would not have gotten arrested. Correct?
Yes, you would have been halfway through a rest.
Would we have been able to do a focus earlier?
Yeah, you
Or
can
were you eating
refocus. Yeah.
Bet.
That means I'm coming in short on spells.
Look, we'll be fine. All I need to do is hit that ×4 crit.
All you need to do.
That's it.
Well, I mean, if shit really hits the fan and we don't have spells to use and we're in trouble, it'll be time to introduce all of you to Willow's collection of grenades she's not used yet.
Oh.
Go crazy.
Bet.
I will tell you now, I anticipate this fight sapping a lot of resources.
These two little shits.
Puckwudgies are no fucking joke. So these, fun fact, these are pre-statted. They existed and were statted out in Pathfinder Bestiary 3. So I was curious and I just searched up every cryptid, and there's a stat block for Puckwudgies, there's a stat block for Mothman.
See if there's
There's a hold on, let me see. What is it?
Wampuscat.
How do you spell that?
Wampus.
Wampuscat? No, there is no Wampuscat.
Oh.
It's sad.
Rip.
Awesome.
Yeah, but there are several cryptids.
Jedi is calling these things grungle snotchers.
Grungle snotchers.
Well,
I'm putting that
that's
in my
a
end of
thing.
session notes. These are now called Grumble Snotchers. Trademark. Anything else for end of session notes?
I think we're good.
Use it if you got it.
Use it if you got it.
Man, Jedi, we don't joke about that one.
Everyone but Willow and Aang are prone.
You have to
Maddie
see Darth Vader's
has...
stats.
Oh god. Maddie has her hammer in hand.
The FFG Darth Vader stats are like some of my favorite like game design nonsense.
Can only imagine.
Essentially, it's just like you look for the stat block and it's like pick whatever you want from the books. It's just a yes.
The other thing about him is, I think it's if you're within like a certain radius of him, you just die.
Yep.
Insane.
But thank you for watching, Jedi.
Thank you for watching, Jedi.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks, Jedi.
Bye.
Thank you, Jedi.
Bye.